today's video, I'm going to go through and thoroughly explain for us what we consider a full-service property management company. Let me start off by saying that I don't believe in a one-size-fits-all mentality. Never have, probably never will. That's one of the reasons why we offer a full spectrum of services customized for every owner and every property. Now, I know the answer is a little vague, but it really depends what the client's looking for. For us, management is it's not just one service, it's a comprehensive range of services that, when combined, enables us to manage a property effectively. I recognize that, well, you know what? Every property is different. Every owner has a different goal for that property. So that's why we tailor our services to what the client wants. In a one-size-fits-all type company, you just can't do that. We've done everything from the normal rental stuff to, well, let's just say some customized services. I'll give you a couple of examples. I remember this one personally because I met with this owner. She literally met me at the door, keys in hand, and said, here it is. Do whatever you need to do in order to rent it. She had grabbed everything that she needed from the house and basically told us to get rid of everything that was left behind. She handed me an envelope and hopped in a taxi and drove off. I'm basically standing there at the door scratching my head going, what in the world's going on? At which point, that's when I walked into this house. It was fully furnished, food in the refrigerator, clothes in all the dressers. It was a fully furnished house. There was complete with the car in the garage. We went through, disposed of everything according to her instructions, had the house painted, had new carpets installed, had to do quite a few other things. It was a bone stock 1970s house that had never been touched before. In a few weeks, we were able to rent it. And, you know, it took a lot of work, but that's what the client wanted. Someone to take the burden off of her shoulders and just basically do everything. In case you're wondering, yes, we did check her ID. We did make sure that she was indeed the owner. What ended up happening was that she got a job transfer overseas. She had to be there in a week. She basically didn't have time to get rid of all of her stuff, and she was basically looking for somebody who could do it. You know, previously she was talking with 4 or 5 different companies, one for trash haul out, one for donations, a moving company for some of her stuff, and then a property management company to take care of her things. In this case, we packaged everything up together. One phone call, she was able to basically drive off, and she was completely ecstatic. It was actually a win-win for everybody involved. Okay. We had this other owner call us to manage his property, but he didn't want it rented. Matter of fact, he was looking for the exact opposite. He didn't want anybody in it. He was looking for somebody to keep an eye on his property, pay the property's bills, basically just maintain the property in his absence. This particular guy was a sailor, and he was taking off for an extended period of time. And he really didn't know when he was going to be back. It literally depended on how the wind was blowing. All he wanted was somebody to take care of his house and have a house to come back to. He was very particular about his boat, but even more particular about his house. We kept an eye on the property, made sure the landscaper was doing his job. We had the house cleaned a few times, paid all the bills associated with the property, and basically just made sure everything was taken care of. He checked in every few months with us when he came into port. The best part was that we were able to post the videos on the owner's section of our website, so he saw exactly what the house looked like the entire time that he was gone. It's one of the reasons why we do videos. For us, it's an absolute essential feature, especially for owners that are out of the area for whatever reason. But we'll talk more about those videos a little bit later on. I believe that's one of the next questions that we're going to be addressing. Long story short, we do whatever it takes to accommodate our owner, no matter what their needs are or how unusual. This is something that a one-size-fits-all company just can't do. For us, it's customer service. As long as it's legal and ethical, we'll consider doing it. I really don't know of another management company that can do that. We have some owners that want to be completely independent of their properties. They tell us, take care of everything, only call me if the place ever burns down. And then we have owners on the complete opposite side of the spectrum. They care to be a little more hands-on. For the most part, people fall somewhere in the middle. They want to know that the property is being taken care of, but they don't want to know every single detail. Our services include a free rental survey, so we can properly determine what the fair market rate for a particular property is. The next thing that we offer is a free consultation to evaluate your portfolio and then talk about the long and short-term goals. Now, this one's huge. Capital Management is the only company that I'm aware of in Northern California that does this. Video advertising, videos such as these. It should be evident by now that I'm a big fan of these videos. When appropriate, we create an advertising video focusing on the property's strengths and then drive all of our advertising towards those videos. So when somebody sees one of our advertising pics, they don't see a short black and white text with one or two pictures. Instead, they see this ad driving them to a 3 or 5 minute video showcasing the property. By the time we get the call, the prospect's already seen the property. Really, which would you rather have? The next thing that we do is that we thoroughly investigate each and every single applicant. I'd rather weed out a bad applicant up front than have somebody that is going to make my life completely miserable for the next 6 months, 1 year, whatever the lease term is. We fully run a background investigation that includes credit, criminal, sex offender, as well as checking with current and past landlords and employers. By the time we're done, we have a very good understanding of who we're renting to. The next thing is strict applicant qualification guidelines. Our guidelines are strict, and they're strict for a reason, much stricter than my competitors. Again, I'd rather weed out a bad tenant up front than have to deal with somebody for the next year or so. We get a higher caliber tenant that tends to take care of the property and pays on time. What else could you want? Now, if an applicant comes to us and they fall short on 1 or 2 items, we will then contact the owner, present our findings to the owner, and then they have the option of accepting or declining that applicant. Now, if the applicant doesn't even come close, I won't even bother wasting their time. Well, I really hope that you've enjoyed the show so far. Because of time restraints, we're having to cut this video into 2 parts. I highly encourage you to take a look at part 2, because in that video, I'm talking about the standard services that most of our owners ask for on a daily basis. As always, if you have any questions or if you want to talk with me personally, please feel free to contact me. My contact information is coming up here shortly. Once again, I thank you sincerely for watching our videos.